Hey Doobs, welcome to a fantastic, awesome, exciting episode of the Doobisode numero dos. Wanted to keep cranking these out. We have some awesome additions to this day's episode. We have Doob's top 10 video games of all time. Really just wanted to get a top 10 video up for me, just really showing you what kind of gamer I am and how I grew up, and just really games that influenced me that I just can't get out of my head, and I play at least once a year, or try to anyway. But yeah, guys, welcome. Hope you're all doing well. Hope your loved ones are doing well. Hope you're living as happy and as normal as possible while maybe playing a fun game or two. So yeah, guys, let's get right into it here. Doing this live. As always, you can always catch me on the YouTubes. And just a quick reminder, we are doing the sub 100 challenge. So if I can get 100 subs by the end of the month, I will play Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater in its entirety non-lethally. And just thank you so much for all the support. Just want to give a huge shout out to the community that's really been talking to me and really giving me the time of day. It feels great to chat with people who share the same passion as I do. It's a lot of fun. I never thought I'd get into this media age and really be so connected and want to be connected. So but yeah, folks, without much further ado, let's get into today's episode. I got some news that I kind of casually spoke of on my Neo 2 run last night, but I just want to reiterate a little bit in case you missed that. So first of all, starting out with PlayStation 5 news. You know, I'm mostly a PlayStation gamer. I love all things gaming, but let's just kind of talk about the PS5 for a minute here. So yeah, we haven't really seen much, except just waiting a minute here. We haven't seen much about the PS5, and we got a little tidbit of info. We had that Mark Cerny presentation a couple weeks ago. It was great. It was really for the devs and the development team, and really just a technical view of the PS5. But we didn't get to see what the console looks like. We didn't get to see games. We didn't even get to see the controller. But wait for it, we did. But here's just a little tidbit of why we haven't seen the PS5. I guess there's a cooling problem up until the PS2 generation, and mostly with the PS3 and Xbox 360 generation, 6th gen I believe. It's hard to cool these systems down when you're having huge gaming sessions of 6 to 12 hours. These systems get hot, and I guess the big thing holding back from really showing what the actual PS5 console looks like is they're trying to figure out how to get the cooling system and the SSD and everything working properly in the console. And so we know what the Xbox Series X looks like. It basically looks like a computer tower with a big ass fan shooting out the top of it. And I guess that's just the perfect design, because these consoles are going to get really hot. We'll probably see a mid-generation upgrade at some point, much like the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X. So I'm guessing we'll get something there. But yeah, so I guess just the big thing about not seeing as a console is that it's just a very tech-focused discussion. So there's a lot going on there, but we do have good news. So we did see the PS5 controller, the DualSense they're calling it. It kind of looks like a Dragon Ball fusion between the Xbox controller and the PS4 console. But speaking of which, we do have Goku joining us today, and all of the lovely friends on Namek on the stream. But yeah, so we did get the controller. It looks sleek. It looks super comfy. Really excited. I hope it comes in pink. But yeah, so we got a little bit of information about the DualSense controller there, and more importantly, we got some info, the release that we will be seeing the console in the next coming weeks, I believe, or the coming months, something like that. But very soon. I mean, the PS5 is supposed to be slated for a holiday 2020 release. We got to see this thing. We got to start seeing some games. We got to start seeing some tech here. So can't wait for that. But that's okay. Sony's holding their cards close to their chests, and I know it's because they have big things planned, and I can't wait to see more of that. But yeah, moving along. Yeah, just some other like little quick bits of gaming here. Best Buy is running a huge gaming sale right now. If you guys are quarantined and locked up and need some fun stuff, Best Buy is having a huge game sale. I really got to give a huge shout out to them for helping me get the stuff I need with GameStop just being MIA. That's usually where I get my stuff, but that's a talk for another time. I know there's a lot going on there with GameStop, but yeah, Best Buy has been helping me out. and they got me Resident Evil 3 early with the Steelbook, and tomorrow or not tomorrow, I don't think they're going to do an early release, but Friday, April 10th, Final Fantasy VII Remake comes out. We will be checking that out. So I'm getting that from Best Buy. I'm getting the deluxe edition. We'll go through all the goodies that it gives us. But yes, Final Fantasy, it's almost here. Man, I've been spoiled with all these great games. Resident Evil 3 was kind of my dream with the remakes, and I haven't actually fully played FF7 in its entirety on the PS1, so I'm a little bit of a poser there. But this is a great way for people like me who haven't experienced the OG that can finally give it the time it deserves, and then hopefully go back and play the original at some point. But I'm here just to share the passion of gaming, and I know there's a lot of haters out there that, oh, you haven't played the OG, well you can't play the new one until you beat the old one. But whatever guys, this game looks great. I'm really excited. Just saw a Digital Foundry tech review on it. Game looks great, the graphics, and this game is running smoothly. I don't know how they pulled this off, but kudos to Square Enix. We also have Square Enix music going on in the background as well. Some super chill jams, so hope you guys are enjoying that. Just wanted to give a shout out there. But yeah, so Best Buy is running a huge game sale. Looks like we're apparently, speaking of Dragon Ball, it looks like we're going to be getting Ultra Instinct Goku as a fighter May 7th. That's when it looks like it's coming out. There's been some Shonen Jump magazines, just kind of showing some stuff a little bit ago, and we'll probably get a developer diary or a stream of it, of showing the character off in the coming weeks a little bit more. But yeah, looks like May 7th for that, for all you fighting game fans out there. And speaking of just anime and stuff, the new Digimon Adventure series, Digimon Adventure 2020, just came out. I haven't watched the episode yet, but I just want to share my general love for Digimon. I'm more of a Digimon guy than a Pokemon guy. Please don't unsubscribe. Don't unsubscribe. Everyone has their own preference. I just kind of fell in love with Digimon, but hey, at the end of the day, they're all monsters, and they're very similar, but each offer their own kind of twist and experiences with that. But yeah, the new Digimon Adventure 2020 series is out. I guess the animation is really good. Can't wait to check that out. And the movie actually was supposed to, Last Evolution was supposed to be in theaters, but they had to cancel with quarantine, and I can't wait to watch that. We're actually getting a lot of Digimon love on video, and I can't wait for the new game. Digimon Survive is supposed to be coming out sometime. I have no idea, but I played all the games this generation. Digimon New Order was like a dream to me, and I can't believe we actually got that game. So yeah, Digimon, Pokemon, whatever. I feel like in the last couple years, everyone has gotten their own sort of love from the gaming world on those topics. So yeah, Digimon Adventure 2020, the first episode is out. I think you can watch it on Crunchyroll. And yeah, just kind of going on with the news here. So the PS5 console reveal should be coming in a couple of months. And I just want to give you a general community shout out. I want to have this a discussion with you guys. If you please want to just share what you think about the channel, and if you want to talk games or play games, just let me know. Doob Radical, I'd love to get your feedback and love to just talk to you about. I want to just say, is there a game that a friend or a parent recommended or bought you that you wouldn't be the same gamer you would be today without them going that extra mile to get you these games? I just wanted to, playing Resident Evil made me realize, I wouldn't be such a huge fan if it wasn't for my parents consistently scaring the shit out of me with all the Resident Evil games they kept buying me over and over again. And I love them for it. So I just give a huge shout out to my parents for getting me Resident Evil. Resident Evil 2 is my first game. And just because I forgot, and I see it right here, right now, this was my first game ever, Resident Evil 2. It's a little beat up, but man, I love this case. This is so awesome, and I just wanted to show that with you on Doobisode numero dos here. So yeah, anyway, moving along, guys. It's that time of the week again, and I got a special movie, and it's just because I saw a recent one, and it is a Tarantino film. Movie of the week is Django Unchained. I just saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and these movies just have the best build up. They're a little slow moving. They're very conversation and dialogue focused, sure, but the action gets there. Don't worry about that. But you know me, I'm a huge fan of really well written stories, whether it be foreshadowing or just really long talk pieces of just getting to know the character. And I don't think there's not a lot of movies better than this sort of deal here. Tarantino says he doesn't want to make any more than 10 films because he feels that directors get sloppy after each next film. And but you know, who doesn't love Kill Bill or Pulp Fiction? I mean, man, all these movies are great. But I wanted to give a huge special shout out to Django. Jamie Foxx and Christoph Waltz give an amazing performance in this one, and I love a good story of redemption and revenge, and we see that a lot in Tarantino films. But this one specifically rings true for me. This is my favorite Tarantino film, with Jamie Foxx, and just in the historical aspect. Tarantino has a really interesting way of adding in real history with his own twist and what should have happened, and you really see that in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't want to give it away, kind of what it's really about or where it's set, but if you haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that took me a long time to get. Check that one out, and definitely check out Django. I feel like this is a film maybe more people can get behind, just as far as the slavery aspect, and throwing these characters in and just sticking it to a lot of different figures in this movie. And but yeah, I don't want to give it away if you haven't seen it. If you have, you know how good this movie is. But movie of the week is definitely Django, and Tarantino films in general are just a great ride start to finish. Yeah, they're a little slow, but just give it that first half an hour, and I promise you'll be right in. And if you don't feel it, but you gave it a chance, hey, thank you for doing that. But Django Unchained, it's also the memory. I love this movie immediately. There's great one-liners in the journey, and you know, for me, it's always about the journey. And Django has a great journey with great AAA actors. The whole cast is phenomenal. I don't know how Tarantino gets all these actors to make these amazing movies and to back him with some of the content, because you know, it's a little risque, but check it out. If you can deal with some blood splatter and some gritty dialogue. But yeah, I don't want to take too much more time on that. But yes, Django Unchained, movie of the week. Check it out. Check out all the Tarantino films. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has that slow burn to the max feeling. And wow. Still thinking about it. But yeah, so that was the movie of the week, guys. Django Unchained. And yeah, so on this episode, what I really want to get out is the Doob Radicals top 10 video games of all time. I just really want to kind of just talk a little bit about the games that really shaped me as a gamer. A lot of these are PlayStation focused, and I tried to spread them out. This was a really hard list, actually. This list could easily be top 20, maybe even top 30 for me. I do have some honorable mentions. I went through all my games and really thought it's actually really hard to narrow down games that really define you as a gamer. So let me know in the comments, guys, what's your favorite game? What's a couple games you're really into? I'd love to hear, and I'd love to chat with you. I promise I'll respond to you if you comment. It would just be so fun to just talk with you guys, what games you like. Maybe we can play some together. But yeah, here we go, guys. I want to kick this off just because we had so much excitement with it recently. But here it is. The first one is, yes, Resident Evil Code Veronica X. Now, this is an interesting title. Out of all the Resident Evil games, out of every ones I've played, I think this is actually my favorite Resident Evil. And this one was actually outsourced by Capcom. Sure, they did a lot and publish it, but this was actually outsourced to a lot of different developers. And but this game actually came out on the Dreamcast originally, and was just called Resident Evil Code Veronica, and was ported to the PS2 upon its release in 2001. Resident Evil Code Veronica X with added content, a little updated graphics, but yeah, man. So you guys know me. I played Resident Evil 2, I played Resident Evil 3 on the PS1, and then by the time the PS2 came out, This game was still really hard. I didn't even beat it for a long time, but there's something that this game offers to me that really sticks with me in my head. Claire Redfield is first of all my favorite character in the Resident Evil series. I think the story, there's actually some really cool story bits in here. The music is great. And it's still that classic fixed camera angle Resident Evil. This was like the last great one, and then they did remake Resident Evil 1, of course, for the GameCube, and then they ported that to every next-gen console, and I own all of them on my PlayStation 4. But yeah, Code Veronica X, this is actually the true sequel to Resident Evil 2, because Resident Evil 3 and 2 kind of take place around the same time. But this is actually the true sequel where Claire goes out and tries to find her brother. And we get great creature designs, and all the classics come back. We have Tyrant, we have the Hunters, and we have the classic puzzle solving where it's not too easy, not too hard puzzle solving gameplay. There's a lot of different locales you visit. We get a mansion. And it's on a secluded island, and we go to Antarctica. So yeah, guys, by the way, this list is in no real order of which games are better. This is just a general top 10 list, and all of them could be in the same spot for me. But I just wanted to start off with this Resident Evil, and then we'll just keep going with the top 10 games that really define me as a gamer. But yes, Resident Evil Code Veronica, this game was actually my first PS2 game. Got it for Christmas. It came with a demo disc of another game that's on this list, so I won't spoil it. But yes, this game was my first PS2 game. Loved it, and it really did take me a while to really, even after the PS1 area, to really understand and appreciate Resident Evil for what it is, and the atmosphere it provides. And Code Veronica is just so fun to me, and I'll probably try to stream it for you guys one of these times. So yes, let's keep moving on here though, guys. Resident Evil Code Veronica X, great game, really recommended if you can get your hands on it. It's super cheap right now. But yeah, let's just keep moving along, and here we go, guys. The next game on the list is, of course, Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back. I did do a full run, one run of this game for you guys, without a game continue, by the way, on this channel. And so yeah, this was maybe my second or third PS1 game that I got after Resident Evil 2 was my first one. And I think I actually played this game on a demo disc, PlayStation Underground, if you guys can remember what that is. PlayStation Underground, it came in a little disc with like a magazine or something. And I remember just playing the first snow level, and just being amazed by its platforming. I couldn't stop playing the demo. And then I eventually just picked up Crash Bandicoot 2. I actually didn't even know about Crash 1. Crash Bandicoot 2, I was still just a little bit late, and I didn't really keep up with everything gaming. But Crash Bandicoot 2 was one of the first games that I fell in love with. Me and my buddies would get together, along with games like Twisted Metal, and just playing Parappa the Rapper that we played. But yeah, Crash Bandicoot 2, I think, defined platforming. The controls were tight. You could just go from one level to the next, and just the challenges got just incrementally harder enough for you to breeze through the 25 levels that it provides. It had some really cool boss battles. I love that it kept that from the first game. Just a great slew of level, boss, level, boss, level, and it just kept getting harder and more addicting. And I really, really hope that somehow a developer, Toys for Bob, actually remastered or did the Insane trilogy. It wasn't Naughty Dog, it was Toys for Bob, and I believe they also, with Activision, I think they also did the Crash Nitro, or the Crash Team Racing remake that came out recently too. But Crash Bandicoot 2, it just had the different kind of gameplay where you can just sit down, kind of like Super Meat Boy. You could just sit down, play the game, and have fun with it, see how far you can get. And who in this game actually is interesting, more for the Crash 1 history, but Sony was really trying to find a mascot for the PS1 because Nintendo had Mario, and then Sonic was kind of the mascot for Sega and stuff like that. So Sony was really looking for a mascot, and of course, it was this lovely marsupial named Crash Bandicoot. It was actually some really weird name, kind of like Mickey Mouse, like Steamboat Willie, where they had a lot of rough drafts, and yeah, it was. I really can't think of it right now, but. He went through some puberty, and of course we have this awesome pant wearing, glove wearing, red Converse wearing marsupial who can spin the shit out of Wampa Fruit, and is just really rings true in my PlayStation 1 era of gaming. And it didn't get as crazy as Crash 3 Warped kind of did with the bazooka and all the different moves you can get. I think the slide just really hit home for me. But yeah, guys, so here we go. Crash Bandicoot 2 was definitely a huge point in my gaming career, we'll call it. But yeah, guys, let's keep moving on here. And this one is special because I do have a promotion for this one. The next game in my top 10 list is Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Metal Gear. I mean, yes, and so this is the original one that came out. And then I'm not saying original, I mean the one before, and then they did the remake with the online called Subsistence. But this is the first one in the MGS3 here, and man, I did play MGS1 a little bit before it. My buddy got me MGS2 for my birthday, and I played that, and I finally beat it, and I thought it was good. You know, I saw why people really liked it. The story was cool, and the gameplay, you know, the sneaking gameplay. Hey Drax, hey, how you doing, man? Yeah, thank you for hey, what's up? Sorry, I'm just kind of getting on a roll here. I'll get to you in a minute, but just going back to the Metal Gear Solid 3, you know, I finally I saw this game on a discount, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna pick up an MGS3 and see what I think about it. And I was blown away. I actually fell in love with Naked Snake, aka Big Boss, the real journey of Outer Heaven and Outer Haven, and you know, war soldiers becoming just used as puppets and as pawns, and the whole Metal Gear. I mean, I didn't really see what Metal Gear was really about until I really played this game, and it just rung through. The cutscenes were super well designed. The voice acting, David Hayter will always be my true Snake. I mean, Kiefer Sutherland, he did okay for MGS5 Phantom Pain, but anyway, more in this game. This was just Harry Gregson Williams even did the music for this game, and the gameplay was great. You know, as far as you could, they gave you a lot of stuff, and you could hunt animals. But I think this game really rings true for me because I could really see what a game could do with its story, and I believe this came out in 2004. I was a little late, and then 2005 was a great year for gaming. Yeah, Budokai Tenkaichi. I'll get to you in a second here, Drax. But yeah, the fidelity of the story scenes and the cinematography, and I actually connected with the characters in Metal Gear Solid 3 like in no way I've ever done before. I actually wanted to hang out with Naked Snake. You know, I just bonded with these characters, and the writing and the story. I could just really feel that gaming was a different medium now. We could actually make basically a full-fledged playable movie in a video game. And then I really got into the lore, and then they had Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes come out on the GameCube, and I could finally kind of play MGS1 with kind of that fidelity that we saw with the later games. But as far as MGS3, the attention to detail was unparalleled. There's just nothing really like it, and to this extent and to this degree of detail and commitment that Hideo Kojima brought to the table. Man, kudos to that guy. I'm a huge Kojima production fan. Love Death Stranding. And just all the work. I never really got into Zone of the Enders, but his Metal Gear franchise will ring with me from head to toe. And by the way, I could put many games on this list, but I try to narrow down the franchises to just one game that I really grew up with and bonded with. So yeah, Drax, keep on sending those comments, man. I love hearing what you're saying. I'll get to you in a little bit. But thank you for watching. Thank you, Drax. I'm giving you a huge shout out right now. Thank you so much for joining us. But yeah, so Metal Gear Solid 3. If you feel like you want to play a game and a movie at the same time, this is the one that'll do it for you. Yeah, the gameplay sure is maybe a little clunky, but they did fix it in Metal Gear Solid Subsistence, where you have a full control of the camera. It's kind of a fixed camera on the older ones, from the top-down bird's eye view in kind of classic Metal Gear fashion. But they did fix a lot of things in MGS4. I mean, jeez. MGS4 is a whole nother story, but that game just did it for me. In my eyes, that is the true finale of Metal Gear. MGS4 just blew my mind, hit every note for me. But I had to go with Metal Gear Solid 3. Thanks, man. But I had to go with Metal Gear Solid 3 just because this is the game that kicked me off and saying, oh, video games are more than just video games. They're storytellers, they're storybooks, and man, I could go on and on all day. But if you haven't checked out MGS3, try to give it a run. The cutscenes are super long and sometimes hard to sit through, but if you can stick with it, man, it's a great experience, and I'll just leave you with that. But yeah, guys, we're gonna move on here because this is a Doobisode, and I want to get to all the content here. Next game on the list is a special one, Conker's Bad Fur Day. What, Tony? A Nintendo game? What are you doing here? Yeah, Conker's Bad Fur Day. This is a game, and as you can probably see from the box art, this was a very controversial game, kind of hard to get and play. I mean, parents saw the super mature rating on the front, and was a little reluctant to buy for the kids. But man, Conker's Bad Fur Day, made by Rareware, that was bought out by Microsoft now. And people have been desperately praying for another Conker's Bad Fur Day. And there's so many aspects about this game that I want to talk about. It had great multiplayer. Me and my buddies would play this game for hours on end. And N64, by the way, 64 means 64-bit graphics. And this game was one of the first games to utilize movable fingers. Actually, I think that trophy goes to Banjo-Kazooie for actual moving fingers in a video game. But anyway, besides the point, Conker's Bad Fur Day is a parody to many a movie. I mean, this game came out in 99, 2000, I believe, but it parodied movies like The Matrix and Alien and a bunch of stuff. I mean, you can actually, there's actually a scene where you play as Neo Conker, and you're playing the scene with the elevator where you're shooting everyone. But this game was just so fucking funny. It was hilarious. The writing, I couldn't believe what I was seeing when I was playing this game on N64, and they actually did remake, I'm gonna say kind of more remastery, but they actually did remaster this game for the original Xbox, Conker Live and Reloaded. And they kind of took some crazy liberties with the multiplayer, but the story was still there, but they kind of chopped out some of the swearing and stuff, but that's just what made it funny. But man, this game was funny, and in the journey and the progression that Conker has, all the different variables and the levels and the puzzles you gotta solve, the characters just come to life. I love the cartoony vibe, and actually this game came from Rareware. They were making games, and they were making Banjo-Kazooie, but they wanted something different, so they basically took Banjo-Kazooie and made it R-rated, and this is what they got, Conker's Bad Fur Day. Really recommend, if you guys have the chance, it doesn't take long to play through, but I swear, if you haven't played this game, you will laugh so hard that it's still so funny today, and I wish they put this on PlayStation, because I would love to stream it, or just get a hold of an Xbox. But just thinking about it, it's such a good, kind of like Metal Gear, this game really made me realize that storytelling can be very successful in video games when done right, and the game believes in itself. This game believes in its writing, and it's a great ride of parodies, very interesting and well brought to life characters. I just can't recommend this classic anymore. It really defined me as a gamer, so I'm just gonna leave it at that, because I could talk about these games all damn day, but we only got so much time here on the Doobisode numero dos. And so yeah, here we go. I'm gonna go just move on here. And yes, the next game is, of course, Devil May Cry, the first one on PS2. So this is what I mentioned when I say when I got Resident Evil Code Veronica X, it came with a demo disc of Devil May Cry, and Devil May Cry is actually a scrapped Resident Evil project. This game was supposed to be Resident Evil 4, and we all know how that turned out. So they, and you can actually see a lot of similarities with Devil May Cry and Resident Evil, like some of the enemy designs, the weapons, the backtracking, kind of a very lot of similarities in its gameplay, in its enemy design. But yeah, this game just brought action to a halt. So yeah, this game I believe did come out in 2001. And I couldn't stop playing the demo disc that I got with Resident Evil. I was like, wow, this game is fast, it's fun, and the gothic horror aspect really shone through with me. And you can kind of see again with Resident Evil there about the eeriness of it all. But became more of a stylish action game. And Shinji Mikami, the director of Resident Evil, and Jun Takeuchi, and all those guys from Capcom, put together this lovable little bundle of stylish action joy, and I can't stop playing these games. I still keep them. Every time they remake them or re-release them, I play them. I even did play DMC Devil May Cry, and I don't really count that, but it was alright. But this Devil May Cry, again, with the story and the characters and the very well-directed cutscenes with some really cool action. I mean, especially the third one, the fourth one, we don't really talk about 2, but it's still part of Devil May Cry's history. It's kind of like its drunken phase. And then, of course, Devil May Cry 5, I mean, brought it back in exactly the way I wanted Devil May Cry to be revitalized for this generation with RE engine and the amazing fidelity that Capcom and the AAA development that they've really come to grow into here with the past couple of years. So yeah, Devil May Cry 1. It takes a little bit to realize that you can string together combos and how they want you to go about gameplay. But once you start leveling up Dante, love Dante, man, he's a badass. And again, another character that I could feel like I could hang out with. And every time I play this, I get excited. You can actually check out some of my videos on my YouTube page where I play Devil May Cry and I get really into it. But yeah, this game is another game that defined me and as a gamer, and I will always look forward to the next Devil May Cry as long as they keep them coming, because it seems like it's becoming a way more popular franchise, much like Resident Evil. And this is a huge part of Capcom's history. You know, it was going to be a Resident Evil game, became its own thing, and it spawned this whole franchise of sexy, slick, stylish action, and can't wait for more to come. But yeah, Devil May Cry, great atmosphere, not really puzzle solving, just the enemy design though, and the story, specifically this one. This is the one that I will cherish forever, in the way that it introduced a whole new franchise in a great way. And again, I can't wait for the upcoming stuff. But here we go, guys. We're gonna switch it up a little bit here. I know these are a lot of action games coming on, but yeah, here we go. The next one is number 6. Wolf Among Us. This is I really want to vary up my games because I'm so into the storytelling and kind of the games like Grim Fandango and stuff that Double Fine does, or what they used to do anyway. But yeah, so Wolf Among Us is a Telltale game. Oh man, Telltale, I don't know where you're at right now, but wherever you are, thank you for giving me such amazing games. Like, I almost put Walking Dead Season 1 on here, but then I started thinking about all the Telltale games. I mean, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy was amazing. They did a bunch of Walking Deads. I've played them all. They're all really fantastic. Again, character-driven, choice-based video games, though, where every Telltale game usually consists of 5 episodes, and your choices that you make with characters really reflect the next episode. And I remember playing these games when they were first coming out, and sometimes it would take months and months for them to get out the next episode, just to really align the story. They'd talk with the community about the feedback. But yeah, Big B Wolf, this is actually based on a comic book by Vertigo called Fables series, and Wolf Among Us is basically fairy tales living in modern day scummy New York, and it's such a great combination and mesh of those two. And you play as Bigby Wolf, and you make sure that all the other fairy tales are getting along. And of course, you can see where everything goes sideways there if you piss someone off. And yeah, just really Bigby Wolf, he's kind of has a thing with Snow White, and all these different fairy tales that they bring to life in a gritty modern way. I love stuff like that, with kind of like just coming off the bat with newer, grittier releases like Hansel and Gretel, and they just do a lot of stuff where they kind of take these old, or Brothers Grimm, where they take these fairy tales. Fairy tales themselves actually started very grim. Disney just kind of made them all hunky-dory. Hey, 7 dwarves, let's go eat some apples. Disney really skewed them in a way that more of America could get behind. But fairy tales are very dark, very tragedy-filled tales. I actually took a fairy tales class in college when I went to and saw Tangled, and I love Tangled. But anyway, besides the point, Wolf Among Us has just looks really good, and there's some really exciting moments playing through these 5 episodes. All these games, I just can't get the memories out of my head when I first saw something happen, and I just had to replay it because I thought it was so cool. But yeah, I think Wolf Among Us really just fits the bill for me of a gritty story with the fairy tale backing. But yeah, you're also making choices with a lot of different characters, and you get to know them, and it's really fun. And apparently there's supposed to be a season 2, but man, with the world, I don't know where anything is at now. But I just thank you for allowing me to do this top 10 for you guys, and Wolf Among Us definitely had to go on there. But if you guys can, check out The Walking Dead season 1. I mean, that's what kicked Telltale Games to their success, and then they just got a little too ambitious. I played Game of Thrones even before I got into Game of Thrones, and that was super well done. I mean, I love every Telltale game, and I think they just got a little too ambitious. And I even played now that I think about it, they did the Back to the Future episodes, but I loved them all. They were so good. They're just very good. Their comic books come to life, and if you can check out Telltale Games, by all means, definitely check Wolf Among Us or Walking Dead or any of them. If you're in a franchise, I think you'll get something out of it. You get so much backstory and kind of exposition that's not really shown in the shows or the comics or whatever they're basing their stuff off of. So yeah, check those out, guys. Wolf Among Us was an amazing game. Also remastered. A lot of these games are remastered for PS4, so you can definitely check those out. But yeah, here we go. Next one. And of course, we had to sneak this one in there. God of War for the PS2. Man, 2005. Talk about a great year of games. Specifically, I'm thinking Resident Evil 4 also came out this year. Another genre, not even genre, but a generation-defining game. But yeah, I had to put the original first God of War from PS2. I mean, we all know about the the greatest game of this, arguably one of the greatest games of this generation, God of War 2018. Man, that came out in 2018 already. But yeah, anyway, this one came out in 2005. Definitely spawned all of its sequels, amazing sequels. God of War 2 came out a couple years later, and then we had God of War 3 on the PS3, and then we had Ascension on the PS3. So the history of this game is really interesting, but God of War 1, this is the game that would get you laid, that they would say in the developer diaries. Really taking Greek mythology and skewing it in an amazing, super gory, super interesting, tragic tale of Kratos, this character, and combat very much like Devil May Cry, third-person action games. A lot of these games are third-person action. That's kind of what defines me as a gamer, but I do love other games, and I'm going to give some shout-outs later to kind of just round out this video here. But yeah, God of War, man, came out in such a great year, really kicked off the year. I think this came in March 2015, a couple months after Resident Evil 4. But mind you, everyone was talking about this game. This was such a tale that, again, I'm like, wow, games are really becoming more and more storytellers. And I have a guilty pleasure for tragic tales, and Kratos has the most tragic of them all. I mean, Greek mythology, and if you guys played any God of Wars or the 2018 God of War, you know that this man, has seen a lot of things, and you know, the development of the whole series. I'm gonna kind of talk about just the whole series, but this one is the one that makes my list. But it has a great tale of striving and succeeding in greatness, and then when Ascension came out, we could feel a burnout with these titles. They had a couple on the PSP as well that were really good. God, the PSP. But yeah, this game really, the series really strove to fame, and then Ascension, we could feel the burnout, and we really didn't know where God of War was going to go, or if it could keep going, or how many more stories it could tell. And then of course Cory Barlog comes in, and he started work on the development of God of War 2018 in like 2012, 2013. And he grew as a father, and you could tell with that. And I mean, I know I'm talking about God of War 2018 a lot, but this is the game that really just started it all with David Jaffe. David Jaffe was the original mastermind on this game. Cory Barlog actually did work on most of these games, and he directed God of War 2. But David Jaffe had a vision with making a badass game with a great story and significantly great gameplay. It's just really fun. Quick time events where you button mash the prompts that come on screen really were a big thing in, like, you know, the mid 2000s. It could just easily convey great cinematic action while still being able to play the game a little bit. And this game had plenty of quick time events, and you know, we're all kind of run down by those now, and they're even kind of frowned upon. But God of War started it. The journey in this game, I couldn't stop playing it. I've platinumed all these games, and God of War 1 just really kicked it all. And the franchise history can really show with just the start of this one truly great game. And we wouldn't even have God of War 2018 without the success of this game. So again, yeah, PS2 era. I think you know, a lot of these games are from the PS2 era, but this is where greatness began for Sony for a lot of things. But yeah, so guys, of course, God of War, the first one, if you ever get a chance, just see where it all began with Kratos. It's a great tragic tale, and you can see where he comes from. And you know, now he's in Norse mythology, and I can't wait till the second one for PS5 and see where the story goes from there. But man, talk about a great way to kick off a franchise. Yeah, anyway, guys, moving on here. I had to put one of these in here. It was really hard to single it down. But yeah, here we go, guys. Number 8 is Dark Souls 3. I was thinking about the Soulsborne. They call it the Soulsborne because, of course, we have Bloodborne, all the Souls games. And then we had Sekiro come out in 2019, and I'm going to do a 2019 year in review video, because Sekiro is amazing. But I had to single out one game from this hard as nails, very lore driven game, and it had to be Dark Souls 3. I played them all. I actually just recently played them all again. But Dark Souls 3 is the perfect cherry on top of the cake that was beautifully crafted. And you know, these games, you don't really see the lore play out. You have to really dig deep and read kind of like the item descriptions and really what the characters are saying to see. People really, you know, a lot of people don't play this game for the story. Kind of like me, I'm mostly in it for the hard as nails, super awesome gameplay with the really great enemy and character design. But Dark Souls 3, I think, really fine-tuned everything that kind of made the first couple ones a little clunky. Sure, Dark Souls 3 still is clunky, but they had to keep the gameplay the same way. But man, beautifully art-directed game. Couldn't stop playing it right up until the very end. I actually did have to take a break because I couldn't beat the Nameless King for such a long time, and I was just so pissed that I actually didn't beat the game until like about a year later when I came back to it and finally slayed the beast and beat the boss. But you know, but the end of it, where if you have your choice, you know, these games are choice driven. You do have this is a true RPG where you do have an impact on the story and the characters in this game. It's very moving, very intricate, very hard. I know it's hard. It's not a hard game. It's hard to progress, if you know what I mean. It's just hard to progress. But once you learn the mechanics, you can breeze through it. Especially like I did with Sekiro. I platinum Sekiro, and once you get down what the game is trying to tell you, you get there. But Dark Souls, I had to put one in here. In Dark Souls 3, I loved every second. It looks beautiful, and I'm just addicted to that sort of gameplay. It's a little more. I don't want to say clunky. I mean, it is clunky, but it's a little more. There's a word I'm looking for. Focused. It's just a little more not turn-based, but you just got to think about it more. Whereas Devil May Cry, you can kind of just go in there and just whip everyone up all willy-nilly and looking stylish as hell doing it. But you really have to think what you're doing in a real-time RPG like Dark Souls 3, where it's not turn-based like an OG Final Fantasy game. You know, you really got to kind of plan your strategies out for each and every one. Thank you for joining me on this channel, or on this episode of Doobisode today. I'm going to try and keep this going here because I don't want these to be too long, but I just have so much to talk about these amazing games. So yeah, Dark Souls 3 was the perfect ending to a perfect trilogy of great stories and characters. And if you can really take your time to just sit with a martini and play these games and really trying to read the items and the descriptions, there's really some great tragic tales in here. Not really funny at all, unless you know, there's a couple characters. I got to give a shout out to Onion Knight, of course, in that whole awesome bit and his entirety of the series. So yeah, there's and this game is just so meme, and the community for the whole Dark Souls games is one of the biggest, most loving communities I've ever seen. People will be talking about this game for years and still will be. And apparently George R.R. Martin, writer of Game of Thrones, and the original director of this game, he slips my mind right now, but they are making an Elden Ring, which is going to be coming out this year. So look out for Elden Ring. That's going to be the next Soulsborne like experience, besides Nioh 2, kind of what I've been playing recently. So yeah, moving along. Dark Souls 3, awesome. Had to put that on. All right, here we go, guys. I had to get a fighter in here. I love fighting games, and I have a huge history of Tekken, and I got really good at Injustice 2, actually. But I was really thinking of a fighter that really defined me, and I had to go for it, guys. And I'm sure, Drax, if you're watching, this is it. I know you mentioned Budokai Tenkaichi 3. I loved all the Budokai Tenkaichis, but here we go. Yep, Dragon Ball FighterZ. I mean, it takes time to get to know a fighting game, and you know, fighting games, they're not big 20-hour stories that you adventure through. It's just a screen. You got you and your opponent, and you got to duke and see what happens. You know, that's really all it is. But fighting games are very special in their own way, because it's a dance. You know, it's its own version of game. And I love it because it really tests you without little to no bullshit. I mean, yes, there are broken characters in fighting games. There's spamming. There's so much terminology that comes from these games. But Dragon Ball FighterZ, of course I love Dragon Ball. We got the shirt on right here. But this is a 4-button fighter by Arc System Works. Man, this game came out in 2018 already. 2018, also a great year, as I mentioned, God of War. We had Marvel Spider-Man come out. But this game started us off, yeah, Resident Evil. I mean, Jesus. Or was that 2019? I don't know. I digress. Anyway, yeah, that was 2019. But yeah, anyway, Dragon Ball FighterZ, and Arc System Works did a beautiful job animating this. I mean, not only does it look just as good, if not better than the show, but it plays amazingly. It's a 4-button fighter, so you can kind of tap into it. In a lot of games, a lot of more modern fighting games do have auto combos and a lot more accessibility for more mainstream players to get into them, because yes, fighting games are scary. They're very intimidating to learn and to hop online. God, it took me forever just to hop online with this game. Yes, hooray, hooray, yes, yeah, and Drax is awesome. I played with Drax, you know, once or twice, and he's really good. But it's so fun that people can come together, and especially, I mean, who can forget, you know, Street Fighter 2 and Daigo Parry, you know, man, just the community of fighting games, much like Dark Souls, is becoming less niche and more widespread as people are coming together. I mean, cheers to people like Sonic Fox and Tatsunoko and all these fighting game geniuses that are out there playing. I am a little bit better. I have taken a little bit of a step back from the games. There's just so much to play right now. But yes, Drax, we are going to duke it out one of these times. But yes, Dragon Ball FighterZ, it's beautifully designed. Arc System has plenty of games that you can try, like Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, and Guilty Gear is going to be coming out this year. But fighting games in general defined me as a gamer. I played hella Tekken back in the day. Mortal Kombat, love Mortal Kombat 11. And especially when these developers are taking their very sweet time to make these games very, very awesome, and they really have been. So, but Dragon Ball FighterZ, I've really come to learn and know very well. So, I had to just throw this one on there because it's one of the fighters that I've actually taken a lot of time to play. You know, usually fighters for me are just, I'll button mash a little bit. Maybe I'll learn a couple combos, and that's it. Whereas this game, I really got in depth, and I can't stop playing. And we got more DLC, and apparently, yes, Goku is coming out. Ultra Instinct Goku is coming out May 7th for this game. Yes, so May 7th. We'll look out for that. But yeah, Dragon Ball FighterZ, I usually trade games in for new games, but this is one that I've kept since day one. Will not trade then, much like Devil May Cry 5. So yeah, here we go, guys. Dragon Ball FighterZ. And yes, let's finish it up on a super strong, super classic feeling. I feel like, yes, Joker is an MK11. He's awesome. But yes, let's finish this top 10 list with, I think, a lot of people will be excited for, and especially with Final Fantasy coming out. Number 10, and again, this is in no real order, but this is a great way to finish it out, is, yes, Kingdom Hearts 1 for the PS2. When you walk away, you don't hear me say, please, oh baby. Okay. Regardless of that, I just had to say that Simple and Clean is the greatest song that will ever exist in any video game ever. And just think, this game has very strong memories of just like, wow, we're getting a real-time RPG, we're getting Disney characters, we're getting Final Fantasy characters, all in the same game. What is this? With its own original concepted story. I couldn't believe this. Yes, this is history of how I ended this channel. But yes, Kingdom Hearts is very vivid in my memory. The first one, I mean, the second one, all of them are very good. Even Kingdom Hearts 3, I mean, I'm so glad we finally got Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah, also 2019. Yeah, so Resident Evil 2 Remake was 2019, because I remember Kingdom Hearts 3 came out just shortly after, a week after, I think. But the story and the original concept of Kingdom Hearts, and we're talking about, 100-hour game. And just seeing all the classics come back in such a new, profound way, like Tarzan, and even some of the older Disney characters making a huge show. And I know in the second one we had like Steamboat Willie actually be a level, and we got to go back to Pride Rock and actually play in Pride Rock with the Lion King. And then this is kind of a talk on the whole franchise, but then they brought in I guess they always wanted to have Toy Story in Kingdom Hearts, and they finally had that. And yes, Halloween Town and Nightmare Before Christmas. I mean, they really hit all the different Disney franchises in the whole franchise. But I have to start with the first one, because this one truly hits home, and I think this one is still the most emotionally connected one out of all of them. The story of Kairi and Sora, and the friendship between Donald, Goofy, and Sora, it's very prevalent in the start, and at least we had the Final Fantasy characters in 1 and 2. I don't know what happened with 3 there, but just bringing these worlds together, and the theme of there's more out there, and we have to go on these journeys to find different worlds and different people and things we can connect with. It was so amazing, and I remember just replaying this game over and over and over again, and singing Simple and Clean over and over and over again. It was truly a beautiful game. It looked great, with the RPG style battles, and I love a game I can sink my teeth into for a very long time. And this was one of the first RPGs I really fully committed to. I know it might be, it's not Final Fantasy 7 on PS1. I didn't really get into super hardcore gaming until the PS2 days, but had to put this one out there, and I can't wait. I couldn't wait for Kingdom Hearts 2 when that one finally came out. I couldn't wait, and we finally got Kingdom Hearts 3, and they even got the DLC for Remind for 3 right now. But we'll see where this series goes. But man, if you guys can play the first Kingdom Hearts, by all means, go for it. There is a lot of good content, a lot of good writing, and not to mention Sora's voiced by oh god, what's his name? It was the kid from I can't think of it right now. You're gonna have to let me know in the comments. But he was the kid in The Sixth Sense. And oh man, this is really killing me right now. I have to just look this out really quick, because this is killing me right now. I think I have access to this. Yeah, it's here we go, ladies and gentlemen. What is it? What? Wait, sorry, I'm taking this. Haley Joel Osment. Yes, Haley Joel Osment is the voice actor for Sora. Sorry that it took me a while. I just had to know. Haley Joel Osment even voices Sora. So they have some really good. I think Hayden Panettiere is Kairi as well. But I think they just really got all the AAA voice actors in here, and just beautiful memories of this game. But yeah, so that was it for my top 10 games here, Doobs. These really define me as a gamer. Please let me know in the comments what define you as a gamer. I am going to give some honorable mentions here. I did mention Tekken 3. The Witcher series really defined me. And of course, The Last of Us and Uncharted, really taking storytelling and movie design to the next level. And yes, The Last of Us Part 2 just get delayed, but that gives us more time to check out the first Last of Us if you live under a rock and haven't played it. By all means, play Uncharted 4. It is the free game this month. Uncharted 4 is the free game on PS Plus if you guys want to check that out. Yeah, the Soulsborne, just all the Soulsborne I love, especially Sekiro. I really did fall in love. Sonic Adventure was a huge one for me. Played a lot of Sonic Adventure, mostly tending to my chows and my chaos. Dead Rising was another Capcom game that I had to take off the list, but I truly love. Digimon World, as I was saying, I have a huge passion for Digimon. Digimon World was that Tamagotchi-like experience of taking care of, your Digimon and having them evolve. And I love this more slow, methodical pace that was introduced. And of course, Super Smash Brothers. Always gonna have a sweet spot for Super Smash Brothers in my heart. Not really a fighting game per se, it's more of a party game, but the competitive level is still up there, and Melee is still gonna be around forever, especially if you're playing on a classic CRTV with no drop frames, by the way. I mean, the competition here will always be there. Super Smash Brothers will always be around in some sort, and I think Sakurai, is the name of the guy that really produces these and brings out the content. We're even seeing more DLC for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which I do play a lot with my buddies, and just the Super Smash Brothers IP in general will always be around. And as long as they do it right and they keep giving us that same experience with just the modern day updates, I'm sure we'll all be happy regardless. People will always have their little niches with the weight of the game or how floaty people are, but Super Smash, I mean, it's still a great game. Everyone will always dive in. Everyone knows what Super Smash is. Happy Together. You should look up that original commercial for the first Super Smash Bros. Happy Together. It's great. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, those were just some honorable mentions there. Of course, games like Shadow of the Colossus and Last Guardian and Fumito Ueda, who makes those games, very atmospheric. But I wanted to just give you those top 10 games that really, I really did think about and look through all my games. And I'm like, okay, this is a game that I really remember, and kind of the franchise as well, too. So yeah, guys, we are just about to hit... Drax is just mentioning the free games and PS Plus new. So we have Uncharted 4 and Dirt Rally 2.0. I actually did work at GameStop. I'm going to do this for another Doobisode, but I did work at GameStop for a while, for 5 years. And Dirt sold really well, so I'm really interested to check out Dirt Rally and see kind of where the franchise has gone from there. So Uncharted 4, if you have PS Plus membership, get those free games. Just add them to your library. You don't even have to download them. Yeah, and Shadow of the Colossus, and I'm sure, Drax, I think he even jumped in on my full run of Shadow of the Colossus. Yeah, guys, if you could please like, share, sub, and fax me an email, and maybe give me a ring or have a cup of tea with me, whatever the kids are doing these days. I'd love to just chat with you more about, the content and have it be, an interactivity thing. And yes, Drax is Drax is my top fan. I gotta really hand it to this guy. He hops on all the time, and much love to you, Drax. We will get on Fighter soon. It was one of my top 10 after all. But yeah, I really don't want to keep this dragging on too long. We do have Final Fantasy VII coming out in 2 days, so we will be streaming that. Make sure to check that out. Hit the bell so you know when I'm hopping on YouTube. I'm doing all my stuff. Yeah, I mean, I worked at GameStop for a long time. I worked at Best Buy. I worked at Target, man, you name it. And I will be doing maybe a retailer Doobisode, so I can talk to all my experiences about that. I worked at GameStop for a long time, so I have a lot of insider knowledge, and but there's a lot of crazy stuff going on GameStop. I don't even know if they're even gonna open up when all this is through and through. So but yeah, I think that's gonna do it for me today, guys. Thank you so much. I didn't realize this would get to an hour, but I had a lot to talk about. I had a lot of fun, just nerdy knowledge to share with you guys. Really appreciate you. Please just talk to me in the comments, message me, whatever you guys want to do. I'm trying to update as much as I can. I'm even using my Twitter more, Doob Radical. I'm getting in touch with my boys like Review Tech USA, and big shout outs to Review Tech, Rich, and Camelot 133. All great guys. There's so many great YouTubers out there. Wall Culture Gaming is a huge one. Yeah, I mentioned Digital Foundry. I'm all about the techie side of things. I like seeing how games the first time I was there, I told you that I would be here. Yes, and Drax. Yeah, Drax is saying how he said he'd be here as much as I can, and he has definitely upheld his side of the bargain. I'm gonna do some sort of special tribute for you, man. But yeah, just quick finishing up here. If we do hit 100 subs, if you guys want to share my channel so we can get 100 subs, I will play Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater in one sitting, non-lethally, start to finish. And yes, loops with the Vegeta. But yeah, if you guys can help me get there, I'm probably gonna do it anyway. But I would love to just have a goal, and maybe just being back and forth. I'm not asking for anything. If you don't want to subscribe, don't subscribe. But if you can and you want to help a brother out, I'm here, and I'll make sure to give you a huge shout out. I just want to share my passion of gaming with the world. You guys are amazing. And yes, thank you so much, Drax. Thanks, man. I'm going to sign off here. This is going to conclude the second Doobisode. It was a lot of fun just talking about all these games and history and stuff I knew about it. So if you can check it out, I think you'll have a good time. But thanks a lot, guys. And of course, as always, guys, and of course to you, Drax, we'll be right back.